Everybody knows how important it is.
United City divided, one football match in front of 1 billion pairs of eyes.
Manchester City win the derby. They go through to the final of the Carabao Cup.
My friends, a very good afternoon to you all and a very happy Sunday. If that has not got you excited, or maybe even more nervous like me for the game ahead, then I don't know what will. Derby day at the Etihad Stadium as Manchester City take on Manchester United. Of course, one of the biggest games of our season. We always make a note, I think, of this game when fixtures are announced. Now, this is going to be no easy game for Manchester City. They are coming up against a United team that is on a 21-game unbeaten run away from home. Of course, we're chasing our own records, so all to play for, with a potential 17-point gap opening up over our neighbours if we can secure those 3 points today. My name is Cel Spellman, so good to be with you this afternoon. I hope you're all well and joining me to get into our game against Manchester United. We have got two guys who I would very much like in front of me on the football pitch if I was coming up against United. Joleon Lescott and David James. How are we, David?
Fantastic, thank you very much. And do you know, I'm so happy to be here. I've been snapping away on the phone, just yeah.
Getting excited.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That is the beauty. We are at the Etihad Stadium, so just through there we'll be going to watch the game and going to bring you as close as we can to the action. Joleon, how are you feeling? How are the nerves?
Oh, more nerves are heightened than usual. But still, I'm still excited. I'm still excited. You know what I mean? But yeah, the nerves are. Yeah,
the film didn't help.
No, yeah, the music and all that. It's too dramatic for me. I need to be subdued and all that, just relaxed. I'll come in here and like, yeah, but no.
Well,
looking forward to it.
We'll try and calm things down a little bit and take a breather as we bring you our team news. Of course, the first place to get our starting 11 is right here on We're Not Really Here, and it is looking like this, as chosen by our manager, Pep Guardiola. Our starting 11 consists of Ederson in goal, a back four of Cancelo, Diaz, Stones and Zinchenko. We're thinking a middle three of Rodri Holding with Gundogan and De Bruyne in front of him. And our front three of Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. Looking to our bench, Zach Stefan is on there, Kyle Walker, Wnrh Laporte, Benjamin Mendy, Fernandinho, Bernardo Silva, Ferran Torres, Phil Foden and Sergio Aguero.
Not bad,
Not bad, is it?
You know, so you've got this all written down. I'm looking at it, it's like that's a good match on its own.
No, but that was the thing. Like pre-season, and they didn't arrange any friendlies because the squad they've got, you can there's no better opposition that you're going to face than
yourself.
yourself.
I mean, I guess actually, and then sorry, I'm just interested off that. You that's probably more beneficial for the City players than it would be coming up against. And on, you know,
in terms of names,
club,
in terms of names, yeah, but not the style, because the styles are going to be similar. So for Pep, it's ideal because he's coaching both teams to both the same style. Where he's not facing that style. He's not going to face that style today. He's not going to face someone that wants to outplay Man City. Be naive to think he can do that.
Yeah, very, very true. Let's get into this starting 11 then. David, we're always so used to seeing Sergio Aguero on our team sheet, and now that we know he's back fit, but Jesus has been given the nod today. What do you think Pep's thinking is behind that?
Well, I think when you look at the West Ham game where Sergio started, that first half in particular, I thought Manchester City weren't at their normal high standards. Yes, there was a few changes. Kevin De Bruyne, I think, had just come back in from injury. But listen, 3 months ago, when the run first started, I think Pep was arguing that they needed more goals. And, you know, I'd been doing a lot of commentary for different people, and my argument was, well, players need to step up. Well, they've all stepped up. Yeah. They've all stepped up. And Aguero now isn't Pep's focal point for goals because he's got a number of players who can fill that role. 21-game winning streak without Aguero, well, that answers itself, doesn't it? You put that side out, and you've got to be confident that you're going to go and win a game.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joleon. No. I was looking then to kind of we've seen a lot of rotation so much over these kind of last few months, always with that front three as well. But he's actually stuck with Sterling and Mahrez, of course, from the game in the middle of the week. So I mean, they played well, and you think that's the right choice for you, Joleon?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's a wrong choice now. Is there? It's come to a point where anyone can play. There's no surprise who doesn't or does start, kind of thing. So it's a great place to be in for Pep. But one thing that has maintained is the width of the two wide men. And I think Mahrez and Sterling offer that the best. I think if you get them in 1v1 scenarios, any defender's uncomfortable. I know Wan-Bissaka is a really good one defender, but Sterling's only got to go past him once. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You only got to beat your man once as an attacker, and you're in. So I'm sure Pep's got that in mind, but it's exciting. It's an exciting lineup.
Off Sterling as well, Joleon, he seems to have almost gone back to what we were used to seeing a season or so ago, with the confidence to actually challenge his fullback and kind of, go at them, which we've not seen for a little bit.
Yeah, man, I think that the tweaking of the system has helped. I think we don't see the fullbacks overlapping, which means fullbacks overlap, opposite wingers have to get back and track. So now it's not an overcrowded area, it's mainly 1v1. So you're seeing more space for Sterling to do that. So I think Pep's recognised that, and I think he touched on it at the start of this run, is he wanted players to be more patient in possession and do less running, and let the ball do more work. So it makes sense, and we're seeing the benefits of it now.
Looking towards the back half of the pitch, of course, where we'd have seen you back in the day, David James, seen you many times, and you, Joleon.
I don't know what you mean the back half. I had the occasional foray up front.
But you look, I mean, Wnrh Laporte, of course, it's nice to see him start getting back, but what have you made of City's defensive record over this 21-game winning run, as you say, David? And is that the four that you thought you'd see coming up against United?
Well, with Laporte, I mean, if you think before Stones came back in and has done so well, it was all about Laporte.
Yeah.
Man City didn't work. I mean, one of the things, and Joleon, obviously you're part of this, but the discourse or the way people are talking about Man City, Man City can't be any good because they haven't replaced Vincent Kompany. And Laporte came in, it was like, well, maybe we've got a replacement, but then he disappears, does well, obviously, drops out the side, Stones comes in, and the defence has been rock solid. They've changed it around on a number of occasions and continued that rock solid form. This is more about organisation with good individuals.
Yeah.
I rephrase, organisation with exceptional individuals. I mean, all the defensive players. Zinchenko was one who I personally found the most fascinating, because he came in and I looked at it, I was like, hang on, he's been playing all season. And I had to check the record. He'd played like 6 or 7 games. And it was like, he just fitted straight into this system. And I think my admiration for Pep Guardiola is more about how he gets his players to play rather than any individual. The fact that players in this run have come in, fitted in as if they've been playing all season and done it so well. It is.
But like you said, it's exceptional talent and IQ. I think that can't be underestimated. The IQ of the player and the delivery of the message, because I'm sure we can all see what's being done after. But to deliver that message and make it so simple for someone to understand and be like, okay, when I see that option, I'll do that. I'll make that decision. So the information he's giving, the way the players are receptive to it, is we've just not seen anything like that, a cohesion like that before.
Do you know what made me? I was fascinated. It was I'm trying to think. I think it was a Liverpool game. So Phil Foden does an interview after the game, and they said, "Well done, Phil." Blah blah blah. Because obviously the magnificent contributions to their win, and he was talking about what Pep had told him, and I like exactly what Joleon is saying there. And then Pep went on and talked about Phil Foden. We've been working on this. I don't think he can do this. And I was thinking, this is magnificent. The player and the manager have such a level of communication that they can talk about it openly after the game. When I was playing, maybe in your earlier days, it was like if the manager said anything to a player, what did the manager say? I'm not allowed to tell anyone. But
you're saying on TV. You might have to play the next game.
So, and the fact that Pep can have that dialogue with his players is probably the reason why they're performing at the level they are.
And since you've mentioned him, Phil Foden, he did have that standout performance. A little bit of shame that he's not seemed to be able to get back in that starting 11 since De Bruyne's kind of come back, really. Do you think will feel a little bit hard done by, do you think?
From an England point of view, yes. because you've got this young player, and when you, as an England fan, when you look around the Premier League at the moment, we have got some very exciting young players, and you want them to be starting lineup, especially for a side that's going to win the league. But from Pep's point of view, he doesn't have to care about England. He has to care about Manchester City. We've got four trophies to go for. And maybe Phil Foden is part of the master plan to win all four.
Yeah, I mean, we never question Pep, do we?
Exactly.
And, the other player I wanted to mention, just because I think he has been such an instrumental part of this run of our winning run, is Bernardo Silva. And I think the energy that he gives us in the midfield is second to none. Do you think we could? What do you think maybe the reason is for having him on the bench?
I don't know, to be fair. Maybe De Bruyne, but like you said, there's no bad option. He's not playing because Gundogan and who arguably player of the year and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Player of the last 2 seasons he's starting, you know what I mean? But I know Pep loves Bernardo Silva. He's the only player I see genuinely smile when a reporter asks him about him. You can see him like it's like relief. It's like he's such a nice guy. He's such intelligent. He's got so much quality. All the aspects of. It's like he wants him to be his son. You know what I mean? He's proud of him like a son. Like when he talks about him, you can just see it's like so exciting for him. So I'm surprised he's not in there. But if you're looking to change your game and you're bringing on Torres, Silva, Foden, and not Aguero, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous talent.
It really is. And we're going to hear from Pep Guardiola in just a second. But I just wanted to ask you both about this cohesiveness. And I kind of touched upon it before in previous shows, but more and more, and you gave a great insight there, we're really seeing that it's a very happy camp and we don't know who our strongest 11 is anymore. As players who, have been through a variety of clubs and managers, how do you get that within a team? Is it strictly down to
winning?
No, I
think Joleon is better qualified to answer that one.
But is it? I think is it just Pep Guardiola? Does it come from the Pep Guardiola and his staff around him? Is it the players that have to?
It's all of that. There's no one thing, because if it was, everyone would recognise it and try and emulate it.
Yeah.
So there's no one thing that helps that or makes that. Sorry, but everything has to contribute. Like we just talk about John Stones, the fact that he had to make himself ready, hoping he was going to get an opportunity, because if Laporte possibly didn't make the mistake against Spurs, he stays in the team, it's a different run.
Yeah.
John Stones doesn't play. He doesn't get back in.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's not going to the Euros because he's only played 5 games instead of 25. Mm-hmm. So it's all of it. You have to be ready mentally, physically. The manager obviously has to be able to trust you. And obviously winning. Winning is a massive thing. You get one win and it just snowballs, and all of a sudden the confidence just grows and grows. You feel better, your touch feels better, you feel a bit faster, a bit stronger, and all them elements. So, yeah, there's no one thing that makes that.
And 21 wins definitely helps, doesn't it?
Definitely. More than anything. That helps. That's the one thing you need, 21 wins.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not a big fan of momentum, or the term momentum, because it's too easy. Man City have got momentum, because the argument is that means they'll win 22, which means they'll never get beat, they'll win every game. It's what you do in between games, I think, which is the most important thing. And as I said, when you listen to, and I go back to the Liverpool game because it was the best post-match I've heard, when you listen to the way the manager and the player is talking about their personal situations, the communication is great.
Yeah.
And then the confidence of Phil Foden, even sat on a bench now, will be like, I can go on and do something.
Yes.
Because I know what my role is. And I think this is where Pep is so much better than others. It's interesting because we're sat here and on the screens another team who used to be champions. And they were in the similar position. But then it's when things don't quite go right, and the Tottenham game is a great one where they lose 2-0, Man City, this is obviously. But Pep knew how to mend what could have been a big problem.
Yeah.
Whereas the other side don't seem to know how to get out of that rut. So it's understanding where you're at and understanding that, and Pep's even said this, sorry, I'm going on. Pep even said this, on a great run, we expect to lose games or lose points before the end of the season. So it's not like we've won 21, we're going to win the next 16.
Yeah. Something's
going to happen between now and the end of the season, but he already prepared for that to happen, not be surprised by it.
Yeah.
That's magnificent.
Yeah, this has been the most impressive and helped me realise how good Pep is. The difference between the other teams who never had a bad run and the difference between Man City, like last season was, say, the off year, and they were still second.
Yeah.
Liverpool had to do something they have been doing to win the league, but Man City was still second. And there wasn't a derailment. It wasn't no. Are they going to get questioning the fact that you may not make the top 4 after winning the league? I'd never fear that. with this group of players, this manager. So, and it's just helped me realise other managers don't necessarily have a plan B. Pep's hasn't got a plan A. He's just, everything is part of the structure and the plan. And yeah, it's really impressed me, that part of it this season.
Well, and do you know what, funny, I don't know if you saw, Pep actually gave an interview this week and said something the same and one thing about this team that he's loved actually over the last 10 years is whenever we have won the league the following season, the best position we finished is second. So we've always been in contention. The other thing that I kind of still can't get my head around is that there almost seems to be like, they're almost got one mindset, because it doesn't matter what player is talking or if it's Pep, they all seem to give the same answers. They're all very much, it's the one game at a time, the team togetherness.
That's the thing. That's a cliche, but it doesn't seem like a cliche when they say it.
No.
I honestly believe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Even before, even in his first year, I kind of felt the complacency wasn't there. If they got beat, it was just for one reason or another, but it wasn't like they believed their hype. I never get that. I never get that impression with the team or the manager. So when he says one game at a time, I genuinely believe that's the mindset they have.
Yeah, and it's the mindset that is absolutely working. Final word just before we go to Pep, and I have to ask it because I feel we've been putting it out there too much. Every good thing does have to come to an end. Is there a major concern it could be United that do it today at the Etihad, David, for you?
A concern?
Yeah.
No, I don't think Man City lose for losing today.
Okay.
There's a bragging rights local, and I apologise to all Man City fans who have Manchester United friends who will give them stick if the unthinkable happens. But one of my concerns for Man City and Pep Guardiola and winning the Premier League, I think, is pretty much done.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to have to be the worst derailment of ever.
Yeah.
Going for the 4 is something that's never been done, but that includes winning the Champions League. Now, in order to win the Champions League, Man City needs to be competitive. That is my concern. And winning today will make them less competitive towards the end of the season.
I see, yeah. Okay.
Why did you say that?
Why? Because I think history will dictate that Pep's successes have been in competitive seasons in the Champions League.
Yeah.
As a Barcelona, they weren't winning the league by 10, 15 points and then going in Champions League finals. At Bayern Munich, if my study was right, that they would already won the league with a month or so to go.
And he said about that, he announced that, didn't he, at Bayern? He announced that, the league's won, and he said he kind of felt the players derail, so he'll never mention that again.
Yeah, but you've won the league.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is my thing. I mean, 3 points today isn't going to make the biggest difference, but I think it's a little reality check. And I want, the ideal scenario is Man City win every game now to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Win everything by winning everything, by winning every game. But there isn't a bad situation if the referee has a bad game, sends a couple of players off, and Man United scrape a win, because it will be a reality check that the Man City players need and Pep needs going forward to win the quadruple. So I don't want to give Man United any credit here at all, but it's kind of there isn't a losing situation for this.
It's an interesting one because there is. I've been saying
his idea.
Go on.
No, I know what he's saying. I just think. Yeah, but do I agree? I'm trying to think whether I see it that way.
Your competitive games would be the League Cup final, which is coming up soon. You've got the FA Cup final when it end of the season.
Yeah.
And the Champions League knockouts.
But you can afford to lose one of the knockout games. You don't have to win both games to go through. So that's where I'm thinking.
That's where the reality check will come more. Okay.
And I think in one of them legs, but I know what he's saying, because I still believed when we won the first title, the biggest reality check, the best thing that happened was losing to Man United in the Charity Shield. We'd won every pre-season game, and we were beating top European teams, and we'd won all the games. We're 2-0 up at half time. They come out second half, beat us 3-2. And it was like, we're not quite where we think we are. And then we went on a run of 14 games unbeaten, you know what I mean? And it kind of propelled us to go forward. But I know what you're saying, but I just think this team and this squad, I believe this is Pep's best ever squad.
Yeah, I don't
think he's had that before, and so I don't think there's no room for complacency, because you don't even know if you're going to play next game.
And is that it? Then
you don't even know. Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm right. That's the thing. It's just I'm just looking at this game being the derby.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that could happen is Man United winning, but it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Oh, yeah.
for City.
Yeah, no,
That's
there's no bad
win-win.
scenarios. Yeah.
I'm not saying
I get
Pep's going, well, I better lose this one.
It's like that.
Restarts. Yeah.
Tommy Doyle, get the under-23s out today.
Don't worry
Actually.
about it. I'm not going mad.
No, but I think it is the great point. I think that's something we're all feeling. You know, maybe. I know maybe not that I ever want City to lose, but I don't want to be getting towards the quarterfinals, semi-finals, having still not lost yet. Because you're like, well, odds would say we're going to at some point, and you don't.
That's the thing. Yeah, the further the games are, the more chance I think we have of winning them all. So when we get closer to them, I'm thinking, oh, now it's real. Like the League Cup, I'm thinking, yeah, we'll win that, and then it's getting to the stage where Spurs are just finding a little bit of rhythm. And I'm thinking, it's the final. Like anything happens in the you lose the final, you lost. That's it. There's no way to claw it back. You know what I mean? So the closer we get to the competitions and the finales, I'm like, oh.
No. Well, let's hear from the man himself. We can now bring you Pep Guardiola's interview ahead of our game against Manchester United.
Pep, you've put together this fabulous 21-run game of victories by treating each game as it comes. Today, how extra motivated do you think your opponents will be because it's the derby?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more, but should be not, for the fact that this, at the end of the football game, with the strength and weak points for both sides, and try to do a good game. So sometimes extra motivation is not good. So, and of course the derby, like we played there in Old Trafford and Carabao Cup there, so without people it's completely different.
What makes it different with the no people here? What does it change?
But not just today, all the season. It's completely different.
The intensity?
No, the emotion. So we play for the people, and being the stadium's empty is completely different. So it's
nowhere near as good.
No, not at all.
You talked about Manchester United's strength yesterday. You talked about the pace of their forwards and also the danger of Bruno Fernandes. What's the best way to deal with that? Stop getting the ball to them in the first place?
Have the ball as much as possible. Don't lose the easy balls. The difficult ones, okay, but no easy balls, and play with the ball. The best way to defend is to have the ball. Is the best way.
How much is it, about mentality as well going into the game?
Well, I have to say that there's the 3 points the same. Like next one will be Southampton. On the previous one, like we play against Wolves. So it's no more than that. So mentality, it's always there. Since we are here, we were competitors in every competition. Sometimes win, sometimes lose. But all the times we were ready to face the opponents, and no matter the competitions we play. And today will not be an exception. So we know against which team we play. So exceptional team. So incredible run, not losing away, almost 1 year, 21 I think so too. So yeah, we know it, the players know it, but we have to play a game to try to impose our qualities.
So you've won the last 21 games. They've not been beaten 21 games away. Something has to give.
Yeah, for sure. Someone, but here at the end is who will be champion. So this is not just 3 points for the end to be champion. You have an incredible, opportunity today, and we have to focus, like we said many times. So don't think about win the game. So think about play to win the game. So we cannot win the game without playing football, and 95 minutes is what we have to do.
Thanks, Pep.
Thank you.
Pep Guardiola there, speaking ahead of our game against Manchester United. I mean, I tell you what, he kind of looks calm. I think that helped a little bit. Did it help you?
Yeah. When does he not look calm?
Yeah. No. When the game's on, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's probably when he's in his zone. You know what I mean? But no, yeah. He's picked his team. Like he said, he's best way to defend is keep the ball. They're good at that, and don't give away easy passes. It sounds very simple when he puts it like that, so hopefully they can do it.
Let's to bring you then the team that we're going to be taking on in Manchester United. Their starting 11 looks like this. Dean Henderson starts in goal. Looking like a back four consisting of Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Luke Shaw. In the middle, McTominay, Fred and Fernandes, and their front three of Martial, Rashford and Daniel James, who I think we all remember from that Swansea game a couple of seasons ago in the League Cup. Quite an interesting 11, I think, from Manchester United. I didn't expect to see Daniel James in there myself, David. Of course, we've seen Henderson coming in for De Gea. What do you think Ollie's thinking is with some of the selections he's made there today?
Well, I was just saying to Joleon when I saw the side, I think that's possibly the strongest side he could put out.
Right.
Is Cavani not fit? You don't think Cavani?
Okay, he scored some goals, but I.
You mean in this game? Sorry.
Yeah,
you mean,
I just think that's a strong side. I'm happy with it because you want to see Manchester United's best team getting beat by Man City's best team.
Yeah.
So James. I mean, obviously with his pace, you got Martial with pace, you got Rashford with pace. Mm-hmm. You know, there's, and I think there was a good question there in the Pep's interview about Bruno Fernandes. You keep him quiet, then that pace actually becomes null and void.
Yeah.
Fernandes is capable, as we all know, with a turn and kick to set someone through. But yeah, pace. I mean, Henderson in goal. I'm glad that Henderson in goal from an English perspective because I think this is England's best goalkeeping talent.
Okay.
Do you think he's been a little bit hard done by Henderson? Given, I think De Gea is obviously De Gea. He seems to have had a slightly, struggled a little bit over the last couple of seasons. Do you think Henderson maybe could be arguments to say?
I don't think he's been hard done by. I mean, there's a lot of synergy when I went to Liverpool. That I was going there as a young English goalkeeper against a recognised and established incumbent in Bruce Grobber at the time, who'd been there for years and won loads of things. But Henderson's got tremendous talent. And Joleon, I'm sure, will have a comment on this, but he's got to learn to play for Manchester United. I think that's where Joleon sort of questioned whether he's the right fit at the moment. But I think with David De Gea, and I always say this, if you're man of the match, if you're player of the season so many seasons in a row, as a goalkeeper, there's a problem with your team.
Yeah, 100%. Especially at a top team. No goalkeeper should be player of the year.
You should not be player of the year.
Yeah. No chance.
And for him to do it year on year suggests that eventually it was going to fail. And I like David De Gea for what he's done, but I just think Henderson's a better fit for Manchester United. He's more aerially competent. Yeah. Things like that, which Manchester United would struggle on, and against the better teams, obviously they lose. So yeah, I'm happy. And I don't want him to play well today, of course.
We're like just for anyone.
Fantastic.
Just be rubbish.
Just for today, if you can hear us doing that. And you touched upon it there, David, as did Pep. Bruno Fernandes has been an integral part to the success in United of late. And their other threat, I'd say, is pace. So nullify those two. Do you think is there anything else United could bring to the table?
You only have to nullify one. If you nullify the pace, then the pass is irrelevant. If you nullify the pass, then the pace is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. So it's not a case of doing everything. It's just getting the things that you do right. You know what I mean? So, Bruno Fernandes, exceptional talent, exceptional. For whatever reason, he hasn't delivered what they would have expected in these games. So it's going to be difficult today to stop a man of that talent. But it was done in the first leg. I know both teams played a different way. Yeah. Had different level of confidence at that time, but. Again, if that's the only way they score, and again, I don't want to make it sound too simple, but there should be a simple way to stop it then.
Well, we saw in that game you're talking about, the 2-0 win, it was a masterclass from Fernandinho, and kind of, not only, bossed the midfield, but did an absolute number on Bruno Fernandes. So do you think they'll be looking to Rodri, say, to do the same today then, Joleon?
Yeah, definitely in a different way. I think Fernandinho's arguably the best at frustrating the creative players. I think he'll probably get more touches around Rodri, but Rodri can play, so he's going to have to do some more defending himself, so he's going to detract from his game as well. He's going to have to recognise that side of it, because Rodri just doesn't sit back and he gets involved in the build-up and stuff like that. So it may be that. Pep may be thinking that, but again, I'm sure Man United have set up thinking what City are going to do, and City have just set up for what they do,
as we do every week. That is, of course, that was our game last time out against Manchester United. Hopefully we'll be emulating that. I wanted to cast your areas though, just as we speak of him. Can't do anything about that, can you? More of them, please. Now, I want to cast your mind back to earlier on in the week, of course, the game against Wolves, which, David, it was kind of City had to pull something different out of the locker, I felt, for that game. I really enjoyed it, but Wolves definitely put us to a test, but we met that test with aplomb. You agree, disagree?
I disagree. I think the scoreline, or the way the scoreline worked, it was almost a suggestion that City had to find something in the end. And quite often, and I was thinking of the game I went to at West Ham where it was equal to the last few minutes when I think Raheem Sterling went through and Mahrez had a chance right at the end.
Yeah.
City could have nicked that 2-1. And other than that, they didn't deserve to win the game. Had they scored, they would have, you could argue say they nicked it. I think in the Wolves game, Patricio made a fantastic save before half-time. Straight into the second half, he's pulling out save after save. And I'm thinking, Man City are going to win this. It just took till the 80th minute to get essentially the winning goal, and then the last 2 goals in time added on sort of flattered the scoreline from what it was going into that 80th minute. So yeah, it was great to see City score 4 goals. And it sounds slightly ironic, but I think 7 games this season, City have won 1-0.
Yeah.
Which I like because, and Arsenal I think was probably the best one, wasn't it? But they scored early, and then nothing really happened.
That's the
after
thing.
that.
I think that's the difference this season. Isn't it? It's not scary being 1-0 up anymore. It's not like they're going to get a chance and they could. This is going to go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Tottenham losing 2-0 to Tottenham. They conceded it, and it was almost like, where do we go?
Yeah.
I don't see that in City. And the Wolves game winning 4-1, it was kind of nice. They're still wanting to score goals. Because after the Arsenal result, I'm jumping around fixtures here, it was like, okay, is Pep always going to be trying to do almost what Tottenham are doing in a sense, go 1-0 up and then defend it? But it wasn't a defensive 1-0 against Arsenal. It was a controlled 1-0. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Even today, I'm sure Man City fans want loads of goals. 6-0 would be nice. Of course. If it's 1-0 after 5 minutes and they end up winning 1-0 in a controlled manner, that's job done.
Yeah.
3 points, move on to the next match.
I mean, obviously, kind of a little bit bittersweet for you, Joe.
Yeah.
But we're looking at standout players, which is I'm going to put the question to you guys in a second. But I wanted to take a moment to highlight Riyad Mahrez because he just seems to have really come into a rich vein of form and was a key difference for me. I don't know if you.
Yeah, huge difference. And again, that's the benefit of having world-class players that. When a majority or a couple of them don't step up, someone else will, and he did that. And again, he got to a stage where he's 1v1 early, and then I think it was Johnny Utter. Then I realised I need some help and support. Support comes. Now I'll just pass it. I'll just pass it to someone else. And someone else is free. You know what I mean? So the recognition and decision making of him, I think he gets a little bit of harsh treatment. I don't think he gets enough credit for the stuff he can do, and he does. I think he's criticised because we expect more because of the talent. I think if we're looking at talent, I would arguably say he's the most talented forward we have. He's the most comfortable running with the ball, taking people on. Like his touch when someone switches to play. I don't think I've seen a better touch in the league.
No, I agree. Best first touch.
So I just think that is the frustration with Mahrez. I think I just want to see every game. I just want to see if you make it look that easy. Do it all the time. Just do it. As a fan, I just want to see it all the time. So, in regards of he didn't surprise me, the performance. It never will because he's got the ability. I just think we expect more.
Yeah, of course. And Riyad, if you're listening, that's all we're asking. It's not much.
It's
not much. That's all me and Joleon and David want.
Yeah.
But the question we're putting out to you guys who are watching at home, please get in touch. Just use the hashtag WNRH. I'm asking you today, out of our starting 11, or maybe you want to look to the bench, do you think is going to be the player that could really make the difference and turn the screw on Manchester United? We were just talking about how Mahrez seemed to really stand out against Wolves. If you're looking at that starting 11, David, and you were watching at home and you send us a tweet, who would be the player in our starting 11 you think could be the key change maker in the game? The man who's going to make the most difference.
Use that spinning board there, or just close my eyes and point. I mean, there is that much talent in the side. Where do you start?
Even the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you start? This is. I think people quite often get a little bit sycophantical about how good a team could be, like Joleon has said before. But this side is the best side I've seen. I can't think of a side better than this.
Yeah.
Because in every...
What do you mean? As in 11 players or in the Premier League?
This squad. I mean, it's a strange comparison, but you look at the Invincibles of Arsenal, and that was a phenomenal side. It was Thierry Henry, Bergkamp and all those players. But if you look through the whole squad, it worked because they didn't get beat. I mean, I was in teams that drew against them. I don't think they ever scared us.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a scary looking side because the likes of Cancelo can go forward and be in and amongst it. Gundogan, who I liken to Lord of the Rings. Sorry.
I am here for the Lord of the Rings references.
But Gundogan, sorry, I'll tell you the story. Sorry, this is an inside story. So me and my partner are watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Great.
And then we watched a Man City game, and she sat there, and Gundogan was mentioned. She went, "Oh, Gundogan, he's from Lord of the Rings," and it was right before this run started. So all of a sudden it was like the Lord of the Rings needed the hero, and Gundogan appeared from the realm of Etihadia,
Pulling off his helmet.
yeah. But as I say, this is a thing that's so scary. You know, it was Aguero as the focal point for Manchester City. That was what, in a sense, and then it was Kevin De Bruyne. It was always like one individual, whereas now it's just like a squad of players.
Yeah.
A team.
As I said, I think people would argue that this isn't Pep's best ever team, but the squad,
Well, and you know, it's interesting to say, do you think then, because Pep, I feel, has always strived for that, you know, no one is bigger than the team, hasn't he? I think you've seen that kind of through Barcelona. So do you think he's finally nailed what part of his philosophy of football is? It's a 22-man squad, not a team of 11.
100%. I don't know. Like, the fact that you could take anyone out and put anyone in and you still believe, like, even if you changed all the subs for all the starters, you're thinking, probably only Stefan because he's new.
Yeah.
But barring that, you're thinking, we're still going to win this game.
It's true.
Stefan's been playing on a winning side.
I'm not saying he's not.
One that the viewers can try at home then.
Yeah.
It's almost like cut out the names. I reckon if you cut out all individual names, mix them up, obviously one goalkeeper in each pot, you could produce a team with those mixed up names which has played this season and won.
Yeah,
100%. Which is
and
very
that's the thing.
scary.
I think Pep averages around 5 to 6 changes per game at the moment, which
That's
is
the thing,
unreal.
and it's just rotation. It's just like everyone's getting. That's why the cohesion's there, because you're going to play. You could play 3 games in a row, and them 3 games are equally as important as
the next 3,
as the previous 3 or the next 3 or whatever it is. So there's never a time where you're thinking, I'm being dropped.
Yeah.
You could score a hat-trick and then you're out. Phil Foden, man of the match at Anfield, we haven't seen him really since that.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's played bad. Obviously, he wasn't. It's just because, Kevin De Bruyne is fit.
Yeah.
Let's come play a couple of games. Phil Foden, we've got a League Cup in a couple of weeks. You'll be ready for that.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what our strongest 11 is anymore, and that is always a good thing to be able to say. Well, listen, that's the challenge for you guys at home. If you think, do you know what, actually, guys, I can make the argument for the one player who's going to be the key difference, get it tweeted over to us. Use the hashtag WNRH, and we'll be working through some of them probably at half-time and at full-time. Remember, we always love to hear from you. Now, I want to take a moment to tell you all about a massive launch that has happened at Manchester City this week. It's our biggest ever sweepstake and auction, and I'm being a good friend here and telling you about it because you do need to get involved. We are offering you the chance to win some incredible prizes, all in aid of a good cause. Have a little ganders at this.
So now, good luck.
So, of course, there you've seen our citizens giving. That is a massive recovery fund that's been set up by Manchester City and actually everyone at the CFG, the club's response to COVID-19. And I think we've all been able to read and hear about the brilliant things that the club and that COVID relief fund has been doing. So if you want to make a donation, and by doing that also being with a chance to win Etihad flights, maybe some player meet and greets, stadium tours with a player, so many brilliant things up for grabs. Go and check that out. And all the money, of course, is going to our COVID-19 relief fund as well. Joleon, I know you've also offered your services as well.
I'm going to be on a call if that's a prize someone wants to win.
Well, you're joking. I'll be in for it as well. Not you again.
So I'm going to be offering some time up if anyone wants to have a chat. I know it's been difficult for a lot of people, so if I can lift anyone's spirits, then make anyone laugh, I'm there for it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Joleon. So do get involved with that. Now, you've probably, as you've been watching the show, been thinking, Kel, we love the chat. We love you've got David and Joleon in, but what is this to the left of you?
I want to spin it, I'm desperate to spin it.
You can show, because this is our spin the blue moon. Joleon, show us it in
works.
action.
I didn't know if it was a prop that didn't work, like many other props in here.
No expense spared here in the studio. The slow pan from Greek. I'm going to get into position because it is time for us.
She's back to front, this nail.
Go on. Well, do you know what?
It's a sharp
Actually,
end.
I wanted to give
Oh, did you catch me?
No, but I would have. But there's a blame, there's a claim.
But a special shout out to our direction producer Tom, who's actually made this with his son. So I want to give them a special shout out. We're playing this.
Feel like
Blue moon. That's the question, David. You can actually let us know if this could be the new this morning setup here. Do you know what I mean? Kel and Joleon here.
It's looking good.
Okay, here's how
Really
it's
good.
David's thinking, what have I got into here? Well, it's very simple. Spin the blue moon works like this. As you can see, we've got different numbers on our blue moon. Each number corresponds to a question centred around some Derby Day highlights from you both. So, are we ready? Okay, here we go. There's take two. Pause spin. Give it a spin. There we go. Uh-oh. We've settled on number 3, which is your favourite Derby skill. Who wants to go first? David, we'll start with you. Favourite Derby skill?
I'm thinking it has to be David Silva. Yeah.
the sidewinder.
Yeah, and it's more of a generalism about him in derbies than one particular moment.
Yeah. But if there was one, I think there's one that I always think of. Yeah, this. That is
I don't think that. I haven't seen Bruno Fernandes do that yet.
1-0.
Couldn't agree more.
1-0.
I mean, can you think of another one you've thrown in there? Because I mean, that's one that I always think of as well. To be fair, David.
What other than another David Silva moment,
or just a magic bit of skill in the derby? Oh, I mean that
it's childish. That. That's I would criticise players to do that in training. I think you're taking a mick. You're not paying attention. You can do it, but he's allowed to do what he wants.
I think we could settle on that being the best derby skill, can't we? We will. All right, let's go again. Here we are, spinning of the wheel. Okay, that bit of theme music.
It looks like a moon when he's spinning, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Number 4. Oh, great one. Favourite derby memory. We'll start with you on this one, Joleon. What's your favourite derby memory?
Yeah, it's got to be the 6-1. What? I got an assist as well. It wasn't as good as David Silva's, but it counts the same.
Hey, listen,
it counts the same.
How was that?
That is mad. Because again, it wasn't like it was a shock to us. Because we honestly believed we could beat teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we obviously, I say at the start of that season we'd lost in the Charity Shield, so that was a big eye opener for us. But going there, we believed we were going to win that game. Probably not 6-1. I don't think anyone thought that, but. Again, we went in the dressing room and we were celebrating, but it wasn't like we've won the league celebration. It was just like, we won the derby, and it was 6-1 because we know we had top players.
I know all the fans as well attribute that to being one of those moments when the tide really turned. I think for us Manchester City fans, David. I mean, you've taken part in a few derbies yourself as well. Any favourite derby moments for you?
I mean, that is a great moment. I mean, I think I have to link. As much as I didn't play in the David Silva one when he showed his excellent skill. I mean, but look at him again. My derby debut. My derby debut?
Derby debut.
4-1. For some reason I keep thinking it was 3-1. But when I signed for the club, I've told this story, so if you've heard it before,
I'm invested.
Holly and Phil are listening here.
When I signed for the club, I got dropped off at train to Piccadilly. And I was in a taxi, and the taxi driver went, no, Man City fan, new stadium, no good. I'm like, why? And he goes, no atmosphere. And I'm like, hang on a minute. And he said, no, they split up all the singers and all that stuff. So I'm thinking, I sort of came in and it was like, ugh. And we played the derby, mate, 1-4-1. It was so loud. It was so loud. And I did say to the taxi driver, it's the performances that create the atmosphere. And that day was nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. Because, and again, sort of like the fact that Man City had only just recently been promoted, the fact that Man United fancied themselves as the best team in the whole wide world, and then yeah. And then John Macken scored. Why Stuart Pearce thought I was better than John Macken up front? No one will ever know the answers to that. But that Derby day, it was great because there's an ex rival for a different team to be able to sort of say cheerio, Man United fans.
I had to. You mentioned, but I had to quickly ask you about what was that with Stuart Pearce and the kind of what was the thinking? Does anyone know?
No. I found out more later. It was almost like Watergate. I found out loads later because I didn't know anything. So, Chappie.
Yeah.
Chappie at half time went, I've printed your kit. I said, what? He said, I've got your shirt, in case you go up front. I'm like, what? I just thought, hang on, I've got a game to play. Yeah. And then with 5-10 minutes to go, the board goes up, my number's on. Nicky Weaver I didn't even see him warming up. I've run over and I'm thinking, what's going on? And they pulled the shirt out. And that was the first I knew I was going to be playing up front.
Wow. What a moment.
It's important that the manager prepares you for any eventuality.
Yeah, and
somehow, a shirt.
So he's definitely worded up Chappie there, hasn't he?
And the shirt is still here.
You haven't got your shirt?
I donated it to the museum.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's okay.
Okay, lovely.
Hopefully that's one of the prizes.
It could be, actually. It could be. We all wish you'd got a goal as well, imagine. All right, we're going to do one more. Here we go. It's a pretty poor spin. Thanks for...
Four.
No, we've had 4, so we'll go again.
We haven't thought about that, have we? We've had 3 as well. We didn't think about that. That's 2. We'll go 2.
We'll go number 2?
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. Number 2.
No problem, Holly.
Best Derby goal. Settling on best Derby goal. Tough.
Just blame him. Blame Vinny. It's got to be Rooney. I know we're not sitting there with a red top on. We've got to say the best goal.
I thought
the
we
best
were
goal.
partners.
You're talking about the best goal. You never said the best Man City goal.
Oh, but no, the best goal. Really? You mean,
that goal. Come on. We've got to appreciate greatness. That's a great goal.
No, it is. It's just, it leaves a bit of taste in the mouth.
He came off his shin.
Yeah, I agree, actually, David.
He didn't even mean it. He came off his shin.
What?
And the worst thing is, in this game, he was poor. Like, real poor. And then Vinny lets him go. Vinny. You know what I mean? Vinny, just stay tight.
Yeah.
But that goal, come on.
No, you can't. It is an absolutely unbelievable goal. It is.
Yeah.
It just leaves a bit of taste in all our mouths, doesn't it?
Does it? As I said, if they were still that team, then maybe. But the fact that they're going to be happy with a point today.
It's all right. I don't know. Do you have any that you throw in?
Yeah. Oh no, I forgot. Is it? I want to say Summerby.
Was it Bellamy?
The Bellamy? No, we're going back
1970s or 80s.
Oh, we're way back.
Yeah.
Was it the one that was it?
Oh, this.
Was it Brightwell? Because this is.
Sorry, Brightwell. Yeah.
This is
it, yeah.
Jesus.
Bang.
Oh, come on.
Thank you.
Leaning back.
That is.
Sorry, I was.
He must have been left footed.
But the spin to go on the outside there, of course.
And Giovanni was the other one. Sorry, I am.
Great seller.
I was thinking of Man City goals, whereas Joleon's bringing up Man United.
It's interesting.
Goals off the shin. I mean, Giovanni, look at the bend on that.
Oh, come on.
When the brief was said to me, they didn't say Man City. So I blame the producer.
So, hang on, where was it?
I blame the producer.
Where was the brief sent from? A Man United email address, was it?
You just said the best goal, and when I sent my answer in, they were like, "Oh yeah, great answers, great answers."
Brightwell's goal was Giovanni's is magnificent, but it's a modern goal. The ball's slightly different. Brightwell's goal, that is Roy the Rover stuff,
and it's like a weighted football that they would be kicking.
Yeah, it's very true. I'll also throw in the Bellamy goal for me as well, because the game itself was brilliant, but I think we can bring you this. This is just sin a bit, mate. And
that's a big goal.
That was, and that performance in particular from Bellamy,
that leaves a bad taste. That game, that was my first derby. Last minute,
I was there for that.
Micah,
I was there for that.
Stay with your man, Micah.
Sorry, we're
blame game today. This is what we'll call the blame game.
That's what we're changing. Blame the Blue Moon game. Lovely that, gents. You know what?
Because I was looking through loads of goals. Because obviously I've probably seen all of them, you know what I mean, for the last 30, 40 years, whatever. And I didn't see that one.
You weren't looking hard enough. You weren't looking hard enough, obviously.
But how many videos can you watch? So, I mean, Brightwell's goal, I went, that's the one.
That's the one.
Bellas, that's
Bellas,
not
yeah,
bad,
yeah,
you know.
not
That's
bad.
not bad.
Not bad.
It was a great game. Fortunately, just not quite the right result. Do you know what? We might, because we've got a couple more. Come join us at full time. We might be able to squeeze in one more round of Guess the Blue Moon. But if you've just tuned in, thank you. It's
Question
not even the right
4
name, is it?
Blame the Blue Moon.
If you've just joined us, my name is Cel Spellman. We are about 14 minutes away from kick-off here at the Etihad against Manchester United. Helping us get into the games, Joleon, Lescott and David James. Now, we have got a quick interview to bring you from a man who actually is making his 250th appearance for the club, Mr. Kevin De Bruyne. That is so nice to say, and he was sat down with City TV this week. Have a little ganders.
Manchester City 4-1 winners against Wolverhampton Wanderers. They are 15 points clear of Manchester United, who they play at the weekend in the derby, ensuring City of another victory. 21 in a row now for the boys in blue.
Yeah, it's been actually pretty crazy, but I think we're used to it in a way, but it's still hard. I think for the moment, I think we feel quite fine. Obviously, there's moments in everybody's year where they feel a little bit tired, but obviously there's such a lot of external factors that plays a part in all these things that also people don't know about, obviously, with private life, that sometimes it makes it hard. But I think, obviously, when you're in a moment or in a run like we are, it makes it a little bit easier. And obviously, when you have a lot to look forward to, then, it becomes a little bit less tiring, I guess. Well, he's had a really good season. Obviously, I think he had a hard year last year. He came in a little late, and then obviously probably expected to play a little bit more than he did. But I think, he came back really well, and he's been playing really good. So, it helps us. Well, I look at it as any other big game. I think it's always important to play well against your big rivals, and obviously we know that it's a big derby, and whoever wins get bragging rights, and it's really important for the fans. So I think everybody's aware of how big it is, and I think obviously with City and United competing for titles, it makes it an extra layer. But we go into the game like any other game. You shouldn't act in a different way.
What a man, what a player, making his 250th appearance today. Kevin De Bruyne, I'm sure, is going to be instrumental in any good things that happen on the pitch. That's happening in just around 11 minutes' time. Now, before we bring you a quick recap, I just want to take a moment to tell you about a brand new range that has been launched ahead of International Women's Day, which is tomorrow. Now, all profits from this new collection are going to be going to City in the Community. It's made by our official retail partner, Puma, and it's called a Girl with Goals collection. So it's all on sale now, and this is all part of a brand new mental health initiative for girls in Manchester. Now, everyone will know me. I'm big on my eco stuff, so I'll definitely be treat myself to this. But there's loads of lovely stuff on there that is well worth getting your hands on. As I say, all proceeds will be going to City in the Community to expand its existing football and mental health curriculum for young women aged 11 to 18. And David as well, a little moment, because I know you've done quite a lot of work and speak quite a lot around kind of mental health, and it's something that's very important to you.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'm really pleased about is the fact that obviously all the profits are going towards stuff with the City in the Community. Mm-hmm. One of the things that took me, or got to me in a positive way, was when I came to the club and the work that City in the Community do. The mental health stuff is quite often sort of looked at as a male problem. Mm-hmm. So the fact they do identify that the girls need help as well is a wonderful thing. But for City in the Community, I mean, there's some clubs do it well, some clubs do it excellently. And City in the Community are one of the ones I would champion as one of the best community projects in Premier League, in football. So I'm going to buy some.
Yeah.
It's a shame I couldn't buy a Puma top like Joleon because of shop.
Buy this. Give it to me.
Give it to you. Yeah, but no, on a serious note, I mean, the work that Manchester City does for the community is second to none.
Yeah.
We want to see them beat Manchester United tonight, but
For the community.
Yeah, for the community. There we go. It's really lovely to hear, though, David, so thank you. So you can go get anything now. That'll be on tomorrow. A Girl with Goals is well worth checking out. And all those proceeds, as we've said, go into that brilliant initiative there. So not long before they take to the pitch. Let me just quickly bring you a recap of team news. I'm going to speed through this because I know we've only got around 5 to 6 to 7 minutes, if I push it, before we go to the game. Manchester City's starting 11 looks like this. Ederson in goal. Back four of Cancelo, Diaz, Stones and Zinchenko. Rodrigo partners Gundogan and De Bruyne, of course, making his 250 appearance in the middle. And a front three of Mahrez, Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. The starting 11 for Manchester United. Dean Henderson in net. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw are the full-backs. Lindelof and Maguire in the middle of the park at the back. Then in the middle of the park we have got Scott McTominay, Fred and Fernandes, and their front three consists of Daniel James, Rashford and Martial. Very, very tense. Now, before we get the final thoughts of our guests, now, of course, usually if we had a stadium full of fans, we'll be bringing out some mascots. We can't do that. So each week we bring you a junior blue, and this week it is no different. One of my favourites, actually, is a girl named Holly. Have a little look.
I'm 7 years old from Matthew School, and I am the junior citizen of the match for this afternoon's game against Manchester United. Come on, City!
That's what we all needed, Rosie. Come on, City, indeed. So you are our junior blue, and I know you are a massive, massive Manchester City fan of all things. Favourite player, Sergio Aguero, and of course you go and watch the women's teams as well. So we'll be very much excited to welcome you back to those games when we can, which hopefully won't be too soon. Not too long to go before kick-off, gents. We've really kind of got into it. It's kind of around that time I'm going to be asking for your predictions. So David, I'll let you kind of sit on yours for a second. Joleon, how can you see this game playing out?
Yeah, like I said, excited and nervous at the same time. I would have been less nervous if the spell that Wolves had in the week wasn't this game coming up after. I'm thinking if the better players have them opportunities, they put them away. So I'm going to go 3-1 City.
3-1.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. David, what are you thinking, sir?
Well, I predict that Rose's neighbours are going to be in for an earful if Joleon's prediction's right, judging by her reaction there. I think 3-0, and I wasn't worried about anything that I saw in that Wolves games, even against better sides. I just think Manchester City had so much control over it. Key thing, I mean, we mentioned, or quickly, we did talk about Manchester City's key player. I think the weakness in Manchester United perhaps is Lindelof. Mm-hmm. And if Manchester City can exploit him, and it's not that he's a bad player, exploit him, then 3-0 is a fair result for Man City today.
Lovely. Gents, just what I needed as
and
well.
And you are?
I actually said 3-1 to my friends yesterday. That's what I thought. But do you know what? I'll go a little bit more brazen and confident and go 4. I think if we turn up 4-1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll go for it.
Wow. So fantasy team is going to be...
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Because of Ederson letting the goal.
Unless Fernandes scores.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Hopefully not, maybe. Come join us at half-time, full-time. We might be talking about someone's right prediction. Before we do leave you with some brilliant messages from our fans all around the world, let's quickly take a look at this week's Guess the Blue. Mystery Blue. I never get it right, do I? Here we go. So you can get in your guesses to WNRH.
I know that is.
Straight up.
I know it is. You paid it. No, I didn't.
Oh!
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I think it's him.
I don't know if he played when I was there, though.
But you played with him.
Can I chuck in my shell?
Half-time?
Half-time. We could do when the game's on.
We can.
Okay.
We'll dive into it. Send us your guesses as well. Again, just use the hashtag WNRH.
Easy.
Half-time. Half-time is a
And then half-time, we'll hear from Dave. You see, this is good though as well. We're giving you all the hooks to come back and join us at half-time. Now, we can hear they think the players are just about to take to the pitch out there. Okay. So go, yes.
Hurry up.
I'm sorry. Go and get yourselves a brew. And I'm going to leave you with these messages from our fans all around the world. We'll see you at half-time. Come on, City.
Come on, City, let's win.
Come on, you Blues, let's make it 22 in a row. You can do this.
We're cheering on Manchester City from afar here in Abu Dhabi. We are all rooting for you, and we're looking forward for another record-breaking win.
Let's do it, boys. Come on, City.
Good luck in the match against United. Come on, City.
Come on, you Blues. Let's have a good win today. Come on against them Reds.
From Etihad to Manchester City. Good luck.
Everybody knows how important it is.
United City divided. One football match in front of 1 billion pairs of eyes.
Manchester City win the derby. They go through to the final of the Carabao Cup.